he's shaking, he trembles, he
Oh my
trembles, he
God.
shakes. He's nervous. What's your name again? Lean on that.
Anton, we call him
Anton.
Yeah, Anton is not included in the conversation at all.
Oh no, I'm just telling Lydell is shaking right now. He trembles, he shakes, he trembles, he shakes. As she's about to ask the questions, she looks, she studies, she looks, she studies. She hits the button, her nails are purple,
You are gonna be
and
funny.
the pen is in her hand. The glasses are on, and the flip-flops are fluffy. No
Yeah.
high heels.
I know, I changed my mind. Look,
And so she got on this time. I can go. And we'll wait. We're gonna get the point across. I'm supposed to be at a funeral right now.
really?
Yeah, my mind brother died. Both of them died the same day. But I told him I had to come help the kids, so won't be the first funeral I ever miss. Plus, he won't know I'm not dead. His brother won't know it. He will. Brother won't.
Yeah, that's terrible. Some more funerals and our kids to speak on right now. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
And that's another reason why we're having a show. I'm tired of hearing about young people dying. You know, I'm the youth minister at my church.
What church is that?
Community of Hope. We'll talk about that.
See, you got the little cross on your arm.
Everybody got crossed on me and that.
Nope.
You don't learn that. But I just said that because it was relevant.
You can't go to church. You bad all week. You go to church on Sunday and think you're gonna make up for it. Which a lot of people do. And one day, you gotta walk by faith, not by sight.
Oh, you know a little scripture.
No, I just heard somebody say it before I liked it, so I remember. I got a good memory and I won't forget nothing. So if you had a script, I can look at it in 2 seconds and remember it. But since we can just go off the top of our head, it's even better. Because we on with Roshan.
Good.
That's us?
That is us, and we already got almost 10 people on.
I know you say it, but it's just like game time. It's game time, man. It's like a game. Man, sit
I'm
back.
going to relax.
You shaking good.
Yeah.
Are you starting out with questions?
Yes, I am. I'm trying to give us a little more. We looking good. Y'all looking good.
Looking good, Elijah.
Also, it's delayed.
She
Well,
just
yeah,
want more people
slightly.
It's delayed.
Before she goes into her
Y'all ready?
questions.
It's your time. Y'all good to go. I won't ask you any questions if you don't want me to. The way I will know if you decide that you don't want to is to just nudge me on my arm and I'll leave you alone as we go into the convo. You good? All right. Well, you guys, it's that time again. I want to thank you all for joining us on Let's Talk with Ro. I know you guys have been anticipating the show. I've been getting all of the messages and everything about Mr. Ronald Thomas.
That would be me.
Thank you for coming on the show tonight. And we also have Lydell Scott. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. And as you guys know, we getting gangsta in November. We're discussing things about the street life and how you can get out of it. So first of all, I want to thank you so much for coming on tonight, Ronald. It is a pleasure to have you.
You're welcome.
Is it anything you want to tell us about yourself or anything you care to share?
You want me to just take the floor and go, or you
No.
want to question me?
As far as this outfit, tell me more about this shooter's outfit.
Well, Shooters is owned by Shooter Rob, is one of my closest friends, and he gives back to the youth and in the neighborhoods, and he's been helping the kids for years. He actually sponsored my son, who's a professional boxer. He does all his uniforms for him, man. He's a great guy. And he's always been in my corner when I need him for anything or talk about.
Okay, wonderful. Now tell me more about this Black Lives Matter mask on your kneecap.
The one you didn't want me to wear? Someone gave me that, and I thought I would bring it because I have it hanging on the wall at my house,
Okay.
which I call the big house where we work out at.
Is this something that this person makes for a living? Is this a business they have, or was this just gifted to you?
Nah, somebody just gave it to me.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing. And Lydell, we want to say thank you for coming on this evening. Is it anything you would like to say about yourself?
He's nervous.
It's fine.
He's nervous.
Well, Lydell, it's fine. Some people don't do the intros. You guys are going to enjoy what Lydell has to bring to the table this evening for sure as the show goes by. If I can't wave individually at everybody tonight, here is it. If you guys have questions, do not hesitate to put them inside the comment section, and I'll get to you guys as soon as I can. You know I don't waste any time. We're hopping right on the first question, guys. So, Ron, tell me a little bit about your childhood. I know that you have a very intense story about your parents. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, growing up over in Northeast off South Dakota Avenue, my mother actually killed my father because he used to drink and he used to beat on her. So I guess she got tired of it, and one night she took the handle of the mop bucket and split his head and killed him. And when I woke up, it was police everywhere. So I came up without a father, and but I had 8 brothers and 2 sisters, and I'm the youngest. So I mean, it was rough not having a father because of me playing sports. When everybody's father at the game, I don't have a father. I was just playing at the lot air, like after the game, everybody with a father. I'm standing here like, you know, where's my father at? So it was kind of hard to deal with, but you learn to deal with it. But one of my older brothers was dead, and he got killed on his birthday in a car crash on Rhode Island Avenue.
Oh my goodness.
So
wait a minute, I want to get some specifics on that. Your brother wasn't killed by gun violence.
nah, he got killed in an accident.
Oh, that is
On his
horrific.
birthday.
Do you recall exactly how old he was?
Yeah, he was 28.
Oh, he was very young.
28, and I was in the 10th grade.
So
he
let's
was-
recap. You have lost your dad to a horrific situation right in your own household,
Yes, ma'am.
and also you lost your brother. Was he your older or younger brother?
He was my older brother. I'm the youngest out of 10. Got 8 brothers and 2 sisters.
Oh my goodness, you guys have a very big
I done lost
family.
5 of my brothers so far.
Oh my goodness, did
Couple
you?
to cancer, and one drunk himself to death. And that's what happened. But with my brother that died, he was more like my mentor. Very athletic, and I knew if he wouldn't have died, I would have been a millionaire. Let's put it that way. When he died, I kind of went off the grid for a minute. Like I say, I didn't graduate, but I still went to college because I was that talented. Guys see me.
Okay, wait, I want to hear more about this. So you didn't graduate from high school? So how were you able to get into college? So you're saying that your athletic ability enabled you to get into school?
Yes, ma'am. But you talking 35 years ago. Remember, I'm 55. So back then, they could change the paperwork.
Well, you guys heard that. He said he's 55 years old. Now, we never would have guessed that. You look really good for your age. I know you hear that all the time. So, as far as, our topic tonight, and we're talking about men that have been in the streets. I talked to you before the show, and I let you know that the main reason we're doing this show is because we're encountering so many youth that take losing life so lightly, that take selling drugs so lightly. I know I'm not the only one. I know you work with the youth, and I know you are his right hand, and I know that you are watching come in contact with these young people that are just flying off the handle, and we have to get a grip on this thing. So I felt like you being such an influence in our community, and we thank you for that. You coming on and kind of telling some of your experience. These are things that people don't know about you. People are learning things already and saying so. People didn't know about these things that happened to you in your childhood, and you show us that you can be a good turnout story regardless of what you're brought up in. So Ron, tell us some things about what you learned firsthand about street life.
Well, I came up really around some of the vicious drug dealers in this town, but it is what it is. My athletic ability kept me out of it. They really didn't want me in it.
Right.
Because they knew I had the ability to get the bag, but I didn't have this at the time. It wasn't the talent that kept the money away from me. It was not having the right people around me. Like I said, my father died, my brother who was mentoring me died, so now it's street life. With selling drugs, around drug dealers, I never drink or got high. That wasn't for me. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Even though all my boys did, they drunk enough for me, but they didn't influence me to do it because because I was always strong enough to tell you no. When I say no, motherfucker, I mean no, and I meant that, because it wasn't for me, it's for you, it's not for me. So, growing up, you know, it was rough around guys, you know, it's the city. People doing what they do. A few of my friends got killed, some of them still locked up, some of them home now, you know, but a buddy of mine opened his own school, it's called Royalty Institute. He got 18 kids, which he invited me to be the weight instructor.
Oh,
Which
wow.
most of these kids that got kicked out of Anacostia, all the schools around, because they just got kicked out and nobody gave him a chance. So he decided to open his own school. It's from Florida. He did paperwork in Florida. So it's right here on Rhode Island Avenue.
Okay, that's
So
good.
a lot of these kids don't have nothing. When they go home, it's nothing in the icebox. It's nothing. They don't have food. So I give them a few hours or whatever it is. So now these kids are like my kids now, because you get attached to them.
Okay, so going back to what you were saying about, thank you for that, but going back to what you were saying about your childhood, do you find that a lot of times children that are without father figures or having positive role models start to look to guys that are in the street because that's who they're around?
Oh, definitely. Because I can relate to him. Now, I probably shouldn't say this about the same guy that got to school. He brought a white, well, you told me not to cuss, he brought a white guy in, right? Now, I got the kids. They love me. I know what it's like to have nothing in that icebox, so I know what the hood is like. The white boy, maybe I shouldn't say whatever, he don't know that.
Look, we keep it real.
Well,
Say what you want to
This
say.
white boy don't know that. So the kids are looking like, who is this mom? I said, just chill, man. Just chill. Just do it. That's what the coach want. All right, I'm gonna step back. But he come in and change the whole program. You know, he called me in the meeting, we sit down, I said, all right, go ahead, let him run. But the kid's not taking to him, because you don't know what it's like not to have. You come in here, maybe because he's white, he figured that's gonna bring more money to the school, whatever, okay. But that's not helping my kids. My kids wanna know what it's like, because they feel me. I told them my story in front of, because I get emotional about this shit, because I didn't get the bag. And I know you guys got talent, but for whatever, you didn't have a father or whoever to show you the right way, so your ass got kicked out the same way I did. So I can relate to where y'all at, and I know what it's like not to have this food, so now I gotta get this bag of weed to get me something to eat, because grandma ain't got it. I mean, grandma's house ain't shit, ain't but a peanut butter, no bread, nothing. The white boy don't know shit about that, so you get me emotional.
No, you good. No, let's get it in. Let's get it in. So, question, and we actually have a lot of football coaches watching now tonight, so I'm sure they can relate. But just for clarity, I want to be clear. A lot of times you're saying that we will have leaders and people in power with our youth, but if they have never been hungry, if they don't know what it's like to come up in the hood, if they don't know what it's like to go without financially, it's hard for them to relate to the kids.
Right, can't relate to them. You gotta go through it. And these kids are really good kids. You know what I mean? They just didn't have the right people in their corner where their grandmother don't have it, or their mother don't have it.
So you're dealing with kids that don't have anything to eat. And do you find that some of these youngins end up turning to street life even if they don't want to so they can eat?
They don't have no, what else they gonna do? The streets gonna get them. You know what? I don't have nothing. You got guys over here with the nice cars, and you sit over here with nothing, holes in your shoes, man, I want that. I keep going to grandma ain't got it, mama ain't got it. You know what I mean? Because you got young girls having kids, and now she's 30, he's 16, she's still going to the club. He raising his son. So now you coming home and still ain't nothing here, because she want to buy the new Jordans instead of making sure you eat. So now you want to do what you got to do. So now you didn't got put out of school. Very athletic. I mean, some of these guys that I was training, very athletic, and they good kids, but they just didn't have the right, so they gravitated to me, you know what I mean? Because I told them my story. You know what I mean? Everywhere I go, like I was just telling him, you know, when my son is with me, they say, your father a bad motherfucker. I don't want to hear that, nigga, because I didn't finish. I didn't get the bag, nigga. Yeah, I'm another talented motherfucker that didn't make it. That shit hurts when I watch these motherfuckers on the TV that I know I'm better than.
Oh my goodness,
But they
I
get
can
the millions of
see.
fucking dollars and I'm here busting my fucking ass. That shit is some bullshit.
Oh,
But
that's so sorry.
the kids
It's so sad.
gravitate because I get emotional in front of them.
But I'm gonna tell you, it really speaks volumes for you to be on camera in front of all of these people. And you know, here we have a grown man that is about to shed real tears because he is so emotionally attached to the youth that he deals with. And you do not get that kind of passion today. And anybody that's watching, you guys can relate and feel free to chime in. But there are so many people that do not have the passion that we need for our young people today. And when we have people like this, you wonder why his influence is not going further. So when you are dealing with the kids, what are the things that you specifically do that you think prevents them from going to the streets?
Well, my thing is this. Like I was just telling, when you out here, the same enthusiasm you put on making these teams or whatever, why not use that in life? That's what helped me. I'm self-motivated. I'm running on Stanton Road, dodging bullets, running hills till I'm throwing up because I wanted to be the best. So same thing I tell these kids. Why can't you be the best car washer, the best grass cutter, whatever it is, be the best at? Because you want to make this team, put the same effort in life. Be the best in life. Your phone is going to ring. You're going to get that job because you're going to be the best at that job because you put your heart into it. You're not just saying, man, I got a job, man, fuck, I don't even want to go in this job today. Love what you do to be the best at it, and you're going to be the best in here. When I come here, I know I'm the best. When I went on that field, I knew I was the best. You know why? Because I bust my ass. I'm rock and rolling you running steps till I can't even move my legs because I wanted to be the best. Then me and him hooked up playing semi-pro, which he was laid T.C. Williams in Russia.
Okay,
You know
well,
what I
let's
mean?
talk
When he
about...
in college. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
he took a different path than me, but when we hooked up, couldn't nobody stop us because we had good work ethic.
Okay, Ron, I'm gonna stop you right there. I want to spend a little bit of time talking to Lydell. I got you. To Lydell. I'm looking at all our comments, you guys. I'm gonna take the comments in 1 second. We want to get on Lydell just for a second. Now, Lydell, I know you have a story as well, and Lydell has actually never been in the streets, correct?
No.
But Lydell was actually shot before. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, it was being in people say the wrong place at the wrong time, but I was out there for my brother, and people say, nothing's gonna happen to me. I'm not out in the streets. I've never been in the streets, never drink, never smoke, like Ron said, but I get shot. I'm like, man, why I get shot? But they don't care who you are. These young kids, I got shot by an 18-year-old. So
How old were you when you got shot?
it happened in 2004. I guess I was 40 or something. I guess I was like 40.
Okay.
And, these young kids, they was out to get my brother. And I just happened to be there. Kids say it ain't gonna happen to me. I'm just out there, but it can happen. So I got shot twice.
That's crazy. So,
I got shot twice. And, I want to chime on something that Ron was talking about.
okay.
And that you were talking about how, kids gravitate to Ron. My son, he's in college now, and I tried, I was a good athlete. I was real good, I was one of the best. But I have a son that plays in college, but he won't listen to me. I tell him everything, but he won't listen to me. I send him to Ron house. He go to Ron house for a week, stay, train in the morning, train in the evening, and Ron put him to work, put some money in his pocket. So my son listened to Ron, and like Ron say, he help kids. My son don't want for nothing, but Ron made him work for what he needed. Didn't just give it to him. And, that's what kids want these days, and that's what they need. Someone that's gonna look out for them, have them working for what because ain't nobody gonna give you nothing. But to make a long story short, my son, he had a bad working out habit until he got with Ron. Now the boy is a beast because of Ron. So just to chime in on what he was saying.
So why do you guys think that is so? Because so many of our viewers have children, and why do you think it is that children will gravitate to people outside of their parents, even if it's people in the street? I've seen teenage guys end up on the block, and you think that they don't have anything, and they have parents that are wealthy.
Okay, I can chime in on that.
Me too. But
My son 28 now. When he was in high school, the boy hooked up with some friends. Okay, he got parents that always work, got money. His mother got money. He can have anything he want, but he chose the street because he get with some friends. And you got a parent that the parents gave the kids an apartment for them to have. So they living in an apartment, selling drugs, doing whatever. You know, so my son got with him, and he's in that house. So, you know, you gotta have strong parents. And when I found out about it, you know, I went and got my son. You know?
Oh my
And
goodness.
you have to have parents like that, because if I wouldn't have went and got him, and some of the kids in the house, when I went to the door, they didn't open the door. So I left a note on the door. So some little girl called me back saying, yeah, your son in here. And my son wouldn't come to the door. So then I went back and got my son. But, you know, as parents, we have to watch what our kids do. You know, and you have some, you know, my job that I have, I see a lot of homeless kids out here. They sleep on that train.
Crazy.
They sleep on that train from day to night. You know, I see a lot of homeless kids. So, you know, you got to take a hold of your kids, you know, and just, oh man, these kids are.
I got it, and look, we
Let me
getting
speak on
so.
that about why you think kids gravitate. Cause my quest is it's like a baby. right?
Okay.
It's like wherever I go, a baby will come to me. Say like you got a baby. If you try to get the baby start crying, I won't go to him. But he will come to me. Wherever I go, I just sit there and the baby will come to me. He can't touch the baby. Baby won't cry. Only you can hold him. But they will always come to me because it's something in every kid or in every person that you know if a person is a good person or not. You know what I mean? Just like when you see me, you say something about you I like. So whenever I go, you can feel it from the beginning. I could go in a meeting when I'm in there with them people I already know. I come up there loud. I wasn't really feeling them.
So what you're saying is, it's something just that's inside of you.
That you'll know.
You are a magnet to people. They just are drawn to your good energy.
Yes, I think I am. So.
And what do you think? Okay, so since we're zoning in on that, what do you say to that with the guys that are deceptive? Because you have guys that are in the streets that are looking at young boys as somebody that can double their money and run for them. So how would you explain the difference, and would you say that young people should still, how would you say they can decipher the difference? Because they're drawn to you, but they're also drawn to guys that selling drugs.
Well, I can touch on that, and that's kind of hard to decipher because my own son, like I said, he's a professional boxer. But, like Lydell said, motherfucker ain't want to listen to me because I played football. But it's the same thing, son. It's the same magnitude. I've been there and didn't make it, so I can show you who's who and who's not. They don't want me around because they know I'm going to speak. Quiet mouth never heard. They know you don't know no better. So they give you a couple of hours, you cool. Nigga, I didn't count more money to my hands black as your shoes. That shit don't move me. I want what's best for my son.
So
when I
listen,
speak-
our viewers do want to know some things about that portion of your life as well. What was it like for you when you were in the street and you were counting that much money? Tell me the truth, because everybody that I know that said they sold drugs didn't say that it felt bad.
Well,
So what did it feel like to be in the streets and to have that kind of power and money? Did it give you access to women? Did it give you access to more power, cars? Tell us about the street
well, I'm
life.
going to say this. I was a different type of person because I never really tripped off cars, jewelry, because I stayed in athletic gear. I didn't want the herringbones, the Rolex, or none of that shit, or the fancy. That shit didn't move me. You know what I mean? Even though I was around it, you know what I mean? It didn't really move me. So I was a little different when it came to that part of the game. Yeah, I counted money, but I really wasn't a drug dealer. That shit wasn't for me for real, even though I was around it. You know, I might be with you, you really the drug dealer, but you say, Ron, count this for me. All right, fuck it, I count it. Bam, my hand's black. Nigga, $100,000 out. Even though I'm really not, I'm just with you. Y'all niggas really selling, I'm around. But if I'm in there, hey man, count this shit, nigga.
So what do you say to the young men that are watching that think that they know, you know, the name of the show tonight is You Think You a Gangster, and it's geared towards young people that think they know what they're doing in the street. You know, Ron is saying it used to be nice when he counted $100,000. And you know, I'm seeing young men flashing $1,000 on Instagram and they think they're doing something. So what do you think causes that mentality? I mean, we say, and I know you guys have seen it too. I have seen young men, it's a new thing now, they take money, $100 bills, and spread it out on the bed, or they might have a gun right there too.
Right.
You see it on Instagram and Facebook? They are doing that, and it is supposed to be the end thing now. Like,
To me,
back in the day, it seems like you guys concealed that kind of stuff. Why do you think the young people are putting it so publicly now?
Well, like I say, with me, it was different. Because they did some of that back in the day, you be at the club and niggas holding the money and all that shit, it wasn't for me. You know what I mean? You would never know I did anything from the way I dressed. Sleeves off, no shirt or whatever. You think I didn't have a dime because
So
I didn't
why
dress that
are
way.
the young, what do you think is causing this generation to be so different? Like the way you're talking, you know, you an OG. Back in the day, it's like you weren't flashy with anything. Now we're dealing with a generation that's opposite. Do you
Internet.
think?
Yeah.
What do you think about the internet's influence?
Well, it's
And how
crazy.
can you have a street life if you putting everything on the
Well,
internet?
that's what I'm saying. These
I mean,
young
these
people,
youngins are watching. The youngins I'm talking about are
They
watching.
don't think. They
they
don't
don't
think.
think, you know,
You know,
what I mean?
they thinking, you know, how you gonna ride around with a gun in your car with tinted windows? Knowing cops is gonna pull you over anyway, cause they can't think, they stupid.
So what we basically saying is,
You put all your business on the
on
internet,
the internet.
put all your business on the internet, you looking to go
That's
to
right,
jail,
the
you
police
wanna
is
go to
looking at
jail.
that too, though. You're not the only one, the police are watching the internet, they on this, you know what I mean? So you gotta think, but these youngers are so wanting to show money and show jewelry and show that, but that don't, nigga, you making yourself hot. Not only police, nigga, I'm looking around, I'm a sticker boy, now we getting this nigga tonight. You see this nigga? We getting that watch, where this nigga be? You got this shit on, we gonna roll up, put these black hoods on, we getting him. So you setting yourself up. You gotta use this, you wanna impress me, use this. This is what fucked me up, I didn't use this when I was young. Now I'm older, I understand.
These kids wanna be in jail, you know, when I was locked up, the stupidest thing I heard this dude say, I'm back.
What?
How you gonna be back in jail?
Oh my
I'm
God!
back, y'all, I'm back. Come on, man.
That is crazy.
I don't wanna be there. You wanna talk about you back. That's their mentality. They feel like home in jail, their buddies in jail. So they
Oh,
wanna be
no.
in there.
Yeah, he was tripping when I was
You
in
know what I'm
there.
saying?
He was at his point, I'm trying to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I'm trying,
You know,
no.
I was in there for whooping the nigga. I got an assault charge with my son got into something. He pulled that gun and shot at somebody. I went around there trying to get him from around there, and they was talking shit. They ended up whooping him, so they locked me up. But once they pulled my record, I never been in trouble, so they let me out. But when I was in there, these youngins act like they had the pop, chilling. OG, what you here for, nigga? I'm getting the fuck out of here. I'm not standing here. This shit ain't for me.
That's crazy. And I'm gonna chime in, y'all, because we have some comments from the audience. Vic and Cook, thank you guys for being so into the comments tonight and involved. And I do want to give them a shout out as well because they are strong towers like you guys are in the community with the kids. And Vic is saying that attention is the new drug.
Yeah, he
That's
probably
the internet.
right.
You know, what do y'all think about that? It's
Yeah,
like
right.
they are doing anything. What is a Balenciaga tennis shoe? I don't even have any. The Balenciagas, I'm saying, what do you guys think about young people who have parents that are buying them $800 tennis shoes?
Well, you setting them up for fake.
That's right.
Please speak on this because we have parents on here that are doing it, that don't see anything wrong with it. We have kids on here that are looking. What is the significance of wearing an $800 tennis shoe? Whether you're in the streets or not.
You know, my thing is, you buying your son $800 tennis shoes and live in an apartment. My house almost $1 million.
Yeah.
And I don't buy my son no $800 tennis shoes. You know, so you know, it's what you call it, hood rich.
We
You know what I'm
think
saying?
different. Just
Y'all
like
need to
how
stop
they was,
being hood rich and live. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You don't have food in your house, but you buy your son walking around with $800 shoes.
And like you said, we instill different things. Like you were saying, you whooped little Lydell the other day because we instill, nigga, you gonna take the trash out. I got rules.
He said he whooped them.
Hey, you don't.
How old is little
My
Lottie?
son 9. Okay.
So
I
you
don't believe he's 10.
do believe in giving whooping?
I whooped my son. My son 10. I'm telling you the reason I whooped him. You know, they on that internet school. So I asked my son, he's into video games. That's another thing them kids gotta get out of them games. He into them video games, so I get home from work. Lottie, you have homework? Yes. Did you do it? No. Okay, do your homework. So I go outside to the car, come back in the house, I'm finished.
No.
The computer ain't got homework.
No, you're not finished no homework.
That's why people have to, be involved in your kid's life, because I have his teacher's number on speed dial. So as he's pulling up the computer, I'm asking him questions about his homework. Oh, she must have took it off. I did it. So he don't know I'm calling his teacher while he talking. So I called his teacher, and she's like, oh, my son is an A student in school. But he got into that game, now he don't do nothing. But that's out. So
When you say that's out, what you mean? You took the video game away?
yeah, that stuff gotta go. Yeah. My
Okay.
son not stupid at all. So I called his teacher. She's like, oh, Lydell, he don't finish his assignments. He don't do anything. They come back at 1:30. He don't even come back. I'm like, he don't. See, I'm at work, so I don't know. So now I know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, so I changed that. So he's doing better now. But you guys just gotta stay in your kids' life and stay on top of what they doing. You know, or they gonna be. I don't want my kids riding around no train because they homeless. They can't
Right.
eat. Riding around train begging. I don't want that for my kids.
Okay.
And nobody should want that for their kids.
You got that right, and thank you for that again, Lydell. And that was really some good input. Both of you guys are really bringing some strong points tonight, and the audience is definitely enjoying every bit of it. And Cook, you are absolutely right. Cook is just agreeing with everything y'all are saying, and he was talking about people being on the internet, and you guys saying that they're being simple and they're being stupid.
Right.
He said these are the same kids that are failing. They have this winning Instagram and social media presence. And how do you guys think that this is possible with them having legal guardians?
Well, the problem is there's not enough black fathers in these households. I want to show you something. I had all my grandkids over, his son this weekend. That's what my grandson just texted me. Pop, I passed my test. I got an A.
Oh, I can vouch,
I got
y'all. It's
straight
the
A's.
truth. It's
I got a
solid.
straight A. That's
We
what
got
he texted.
Pop getting messages.
You know what I'm saying?
So why do you think, and we commend you for that,
So-
we need more stand-up dads. So how do you think it affects young men and young women to have a father in their house?
Because we are the men. We run the household. Just like I said, I can't be your father and I'm seeing you every 2 weeks. You know what I mean?
Oh, can you say that again?
I can't be your father and I see you every 2 weeks. I want to see you every day. So if you think about doing something wrong, you know when you cross that doorstep, you got to see me, son. And I'm going to handle that. You rather get locked up, man, lock me up. Because I know what's going to happen if you take me home. Police show up at the door with him, y'all better take him with y'all. Because I'm going to tear his ass off. And he know that, so he's going to think before he do something wrong.
And see, you guys, that is an issue. Now, what Ron is saying is that you cannot be a dad and see your son twice a month. And what do you think about the men that are leaving the mothers to do all the work? And what they say, I hear a lot is, well, I pay child support.
Well, I'm going to speak on that too because my son got 2 sons. I got 2 grandsons. He got them. That don't happen all the time. He got his sons.
Right,
See
but
I'm
what
saying?
about the men that are
But
fathers?
it's 2 ways now because you women gotta let us get to them. So it could be the relationship. If I don't like you, we don't like each other. But it's about the kid. But you mad at me, so you ain't gonna see him till he drive because you mad at me. But I want to see my son or my daughter, but you not letting me do that. So
Okay,
you can't just say
I can speak on that.
because he got.
I can speak on it. I have a son that I haven't seen. My son, I think he's 27 now. You know, and I might tear up, but I think he's 20. I think he's 27 now. And I was young when I had him. Okay, and his mother got married, so I was like, okay, let her husband take care of him. I'm paying child support now. I saw my son when he was a baby. That's the last time I saw my son. And I was like, okay, I'll wait till he get 18, you know, to see him. I waited. Dads don't wait like I waited. I waited till he's 18 and contacted him. I guess he's like 20 by the time I got him. My son didn't want to see me. I paid child support all this time, but I never saw my son. So you have to see your kids. I was young, and I made a bad mistake of trying to wait, you know, because he had a father. So I was like, I'm gonna step back. I'm gonna pay my child support. I'm paying for him, but I'm gonna step back. You can't step back. You gotta stay in his life.
Now, Lydell, I have a question. How did your son view you when you did try to step into his life? Did he understand?
No, my son didn't want to talk to me. He was like, why are you calling me? He didn't want to talk to me, so I can understand. So I just reached out to my son and told him, look, you know, when you need me, I'm here. You know, and I explained to him what happened. You know, I tried to see him, but his mother wouldn't let me see him. I could have went to the courts, but I don't like courts. I could have went to the courts on paying child support. I could have saw my son, but I was like, no, I'll just wait until he get of age. and then he'll see me.
Right.
But it backfired, so I didn't see him. You know, I saw my son as a baby, and then I looked him on the internet. Somebody found him for me. That's how it was. Somebody found him for me, and they was like, I found your son on the internet. They had this boy smoking weed. I was like, nah, that ain't my son. I don't smoke no weed. I was like, that ain't my son. And come to find out, I went back to my papers, saw how old the boy was, saw the date and everything he was born, and looked up again. It was my son. You know, that was my son. I don't even know him.
Oh my
You know what I'm
goodness.
saying? But that was my son. And then I contacted him, and he's like, you know, why are you calling me? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, just what they were saying is, you gotta be in your kids' lives. You know, I made a mistake. I made a mistake and said, I'll wait. You can't wait. You can't wait. And that's probably why I'm so involved in my kids' lives now. You know, my older kids, I call them every day. You know, just to talk to them, see how they went.
My youngest son called me every 5 minutes. If I had him on the phone, I'd show you what he texted me on Father's Day that I didn't even know he was watching me. Every time I read it, I tip. It's like, Dad, I mean, you showed me how to become a man. You showed me how to never give up. Whatever I wanted, you made sure I had it, no matter what it was. You know, I can't even, man, that shit
I
crazy.
know. I'm gonna swerve them a little bit and do some comments because you guys see, you cannot say that there are not black men who have been exposed to street life and not made better choices. You know, for the young people, you may be around street life, you may be offered those opportunities, but we have strong black role models that you can gravitate to. And for the parents that cannot reach your children, like Lydell said, let us not give up on our children. Whatever we have to do. Like now that Lydell looks back, he's like, I would have went and fought a little harder for my son.
Right.
You know, but we can only do, he was a young parent. And some of you all have been young parents. Some of you all are young parents now. Older parents not making wise choices. Let us be wise in pulling our kids from the streets. And if you're not able to reach your kids, let us get them to somebody that can. Have you guys ever seen fathers or mothers that were envious of their kids having a relationship with somebody that could reach them? Like, have you ever had dads that were upset that you could reach their sons
No question.
and deal with the mom and they couldn't? What do you think about that? Why would a man be jealous because he can't reach his son but another man can?
Well, with me, it's because whatever reason, kids just like me, gravitate to me. Maybe because I don't know what it is. Because I'm gonna give it to you straight when I'm chasing. Because what I've been through, so I know what it's gonna take for you to make it. Maybe they feel that soon as this instant bomb. You know what I mean? I want what's best for your son. He don't owe me shit.
Have you
He wanna
ever-
be successful?
Have you ever been in a situation where it seemed like the parents wouldn't allow the kids to stay with you even though they were growing and doing well because they didn't like the fact that the kids seemed closer to you than them?
Oh yeah, that's gonna always happen.
That is
Because
crazy.
It's crazy because, well, I have a friend named Big Fred McCoy. I'm gonna say he got a son now. I keep telling him to give it to me. Fat little dude, about 11 years old. And we've been arguing for 35
He
years.
is so funny.
He one of my best friends, but he will not give me his son to train. He want to train him. He went to college. He can play, but there's certain things he can teach him, but there's certain things I can teach him. His oldest son gravitated to me. You know what I mean? It's just certain things, like Lydell said. Lydell was an All-American, went to college, but his son didn't want to listen to him, but he listened to me. I might have to get my son to Lydell because it's something, because we always going to be hard on our sons, because my first two sons I was hard on because I wanted them to be me. They're not me. I had to understand that first. You know what I mean? So my youngest son, I didn't force him to play or do anything. He didn't start playing football till 11th grade. He came to me. He didn't play boys club all the way up, but he had it in him. So when he came to me, he picked it up like that. He's in college now. But I didn't force him like I did my other two kids because I'm so hard. Nigga, you can't do this, you can't do that. Man, this nigga my son, man. I don't even, you start saying crazy shit. I don't even think this nigga my son. Let me check the blood test on him.
Oh my goodness, so that's a good point you just
start
made.
tripping like, hold up, man. You can't be my son.
I have heard some of my youth say that nothing, and I mean, I have one youth in mind, I won't say his name, because he is currently still in the street life, and we do discuss that. But he said that one of the driving factors for him was because in his home he had both parents, but he never could please his father. His father would say things like, "You not my son." You just kind of brought that to my mind.
Right. Nah, I ain't gonna lie.
You can't say that to your kids because
I ain't gonna lie. I used to say it.
I mean, it's
Be
okay.
honest, you say be
We
honest.
are here to talk about mistakes we are on this show to talk about the things we're doing right now as a result of things that we used to do wrong.
Right.
We talk about it all.
But I can say, me saying that with my first older two sons, I knew not to do it with my youngest son. But this one didn't relate to football. This related to boxing. See, I started my sons off in boxing. And they in there being soft, we ride home and them cussing at, man, the fuck, man, why you ain't run with this nigga? Man, y'all niggas some suckers. I'm tripping, right? Man, y'all niggas, you know, all the way. And I know I'm messing them up mentally. But my youngest son ended up being pretty good at it. He's still fighting today. My oldest son,
Right.
we didn't think he Lil Wayne, but and he had all the time.
So were you able to recover from that with your son?
I understood it now. So now I knew I had to give him to somebody else. Just like Lydell did what he did. He said, man, let me give him to somebody who I know what he's talking about, and I know that probably can reach him. So I had to do that too, and that's why I'm trying to tell you about my other friend, Freddie. Let me get your son. You're a nigga we grew up for 35 years. And your son, like the other day, I had him on South Dakota Avenue out there with him. I told him something just that quick. All right, you know basketball, but you don't know how to get in shape, because you 400 pounds. So I said, run with your son then. You tell him to run, you cuss him out, but you won't run with him. So he ran with him.
Oh, you just made a point right there.
Right. So I made him run with him. Guess what? His son had ran like 7 times, gassed out, right? I said, well, race your father. Man, this nigga ran like he ran the first one. Because why? He wanted to beat his father. So you got to get him mentally. He thought he was tired because it's like when I raised my son. He want to beat me so he can tell everybody, yeah, I ran, because he knew I was fast. If he beat me, it's like beating Superman. So you got to think of it and make it fun for him. You're not making it fun because you constantly cuss him out. Same thing I was doing. If you make it fun, they're going to be calling you dad. You picking me up today? Nah, man, I hope this motherfucker don't pick me up today. That's what his sons feel. Instead of making it fun and they calling you looking for you, not
Right.
knowing what it's going to be today. So that's
Right.
how I teach my kids. I try to make it fun. I'm going to be firm, but I want it to be fun at the same time. See, everybody don't know how to coach. Everybody don't know how to train. Because if you break somebody down, they're not going to want to do it. I don't care who they are.
But
Your
I'm-
son or not.
Like I said earlier, you know, Ron talked about sports, but it wasn't about sports with him either. You know, he had my son working. You know, it ain't about sports. You can lose sports tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
Ron had my son working. You know, you make this money, man. Work. You gotta work for it.
What do you guys think about with all of this concussion thing going on and things like that with football specifically? I noticed that a lot of young men want to either get clout or status in the streets, or they want to be a football star, go to the NFL if they're talented. How do you guys feel about young men going to the NFL or going pro, but not having any wisdom up here or any book smart?
Well, with me, I was talented. I should have went to the NFL. But with the guys these days, like, back then they didn't give a damn if you were smart or not. If you had talent, they wanted you. It's a little different. They make you get the books now. Back then, like I said, I didn't graduate, went to college, ran track in college. They didn't give a damn if I could spell cat. They just knew I was athletic and it was about winning. It wasn't about helping me. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I understand about helping these kids, because you gotta have education, you gotta have this, because I can blow my knee out or whatever, and then my career over. What you gonna do now? Now you got to use this, but guess what? You ain't got this because you never use it. So now you sitting here stuck. So now what you gonna do? Man, give me that package. So now the dude, drug dealer, gonna get you because you got good and bad. We good, but you got bad guys. So now it's either him or us. You wanna come with the good guys, or you want, it's a choice. What you gonna do?
Okay.
You want the fancy cars, or do you want to work hard like Lydell son? Come on, nigga, you going with me? We gonna carry this drywall, we gonna paint, nigga, we gonna dig these holes, and you gonna get you some money. Or you can go over there the easy route and sell this weed and get locked up, or killed, or robbed, or coke, or dope, or whatever. It's 2 ways. So we're not gonna get all of them.
So what do you feel like? I know that There are some young men that ended up selling drugs because they weren't athletic at all and they felt like they weren't cool. They would still hang with the athletes, but their status was having money and clothes and things like that. And what would you say about the young men who aren't talented and athletic, in athleticism whatsoever, and they don't feel cool and they gravitate to the street life? And also, what would you all say about the ending results of selling drugs for a living?
Well, with me, it comes to a decision of each kid. Like I said, it's a choice. If you want to go out here and sell drugs, or you want to work, because if you can get the fancy cars and women and chains and jewelry, but there's consequences come with that shit, which is the sticker boy and the police. So you're gonna get robbed or you're gonna get shot. You can't be a drug dealer for 30 years and think you're not gonna ever get locked up.
Now, question: when you are selling drugs, is it enjoyable, or do you feel like it's a certain nervousness or paranoia and loss of peace with that life?
Well,
My son sold drugs, and I was worried about him when I got locked up. You know, he's gonna be out on the street, he's gonna get killed or be in jail somewhere, but he turned his life around. And my son called me, Dad, you know, I got a job. So I told my son, I was like, okay, that's cool, give me $2 when you get your first paycheck, give me $2. So he's like, all right, Dad, I got you. So he got his first paycheck. I got to wait 2 weeks for my paycheck. So he got his first paycheck. And I was like, all right. I was like, nah, you ain't got to give me that $2, man. I know you ain't make that much. Nah, Dad. He was excited, you know what I'm saying? He's like, nah, Dad. It ain't like that. I was like, man, I know you ain't make that much. He's like, Dad. I got $800. I got $800, Dad. This is a check. He's like, Dad, this is a check. I ain't got to wash my bag. I ain't got to do nothing, Dad. But he's in the street, so, you know, he worked for this government company where he had to go in government building, but he had that street mentality where he couldn't be around police. Every time he be around police, he had nerves, get shakes, get nerves, everything. But he got out of there now, you know what I mean? So, you know, you just gotta, the street, you got, you know, these kids, my son, he's a perfect example. He's living good now. You know what I'm saying? He said, Dad, I ain't gotta wash my back. When he got his first taxes, the boy was so happy. Man, get a job, start low, come up.
Well,
so I got a brother that was out in the streets, you know what I'm saying, and he's straight now, making over 100,000, you know, everything, working, you know what I'm saying. So you don't, you do more work in the street than working a job.
Yeah,
you know, get a job.
Let me get a little more clarity on that. When you say, I have never heard anybody put it in those terms. You do, and Vic, thank you. Vic he has a significant past in the life we're discussing tonight. And you know, Vic was just saying that it's stressful, and he tells his story, and he has a nonprofit. But so, what does it mean when you say it's more work in the street than when you have a job?
You in the street, you gotta watch your back. You gotta watch what's around you.
You better hope they got your money.
You up from day to night. You up from day to night.
Yeah.
Work an 8-hour job. Make the same amount of money. You know what I'm saying? And stress free, like Vic was saying, stress free.
Yeah, because with the drug life, I give you a package, you come back, man, look, jump out cane, they gotta throw that jump. What? Now it's even me putting my hands on you, or now I gotta give you another package, and you gotta bring me back all my money, so you don't really know what's gonna happen. It's risk taking. Because anything can happen. I can give you a half a key and you get robbed. Stick up boys get you. So what's gonna happen? Either I'm gonna kill you or you gotta come up with my 12 out. Now, what you gonna do, son?
Do you guys think that sometimes it's an ego thing? Men coming out of street life, going into a 9-to-5, do you think that it does something to their ego when they've been used to being in the streets their whole life? Like, do you think that sometimes it's things that scare them back or make them feel like they're gonna be less if they get a job?
Nah, well, sometimes it's because their friends get locked up. Man, fuck that, I quit. I ain't going to jail. Sometimes it's that. And sometimes, like I said, you got to have them father figures or somebody that can tell you it is a better way. I'm telling you, my thing is what I tell kids. Like, I used to be in the gym, I see kids in there, man, what's going on with you? Man, I don't know what to do. So I tell them, look, Slim, you can go to air conditioning, heating, plumbing, or electrical. Go to the apprenticeship for 6 months, they're gonna place you with a job. You can go all over the country with that. You got a certification, and you can do it on the side. You can make good money, take care of your family, get a nice place, and you're making $3,000 or $4,000 on the side. You can go put in an AC unit a weekend and make $3,500, get you a little helper, give him $100, and you still making drug money, but you're not going to jail. So don't tell me there's nothing out here you can do when you got these programs you can get in, and you can go all over the country with it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But if they don't know, they don't know. So you gotta get with somebody that's gonna tell you. I tell them all the time, you working? Look, man, call down the plumbing joint. My man work down there. He got you. He don't care if you been locked up or none of that. Because he came through that and he got out of it. So them the ones he really want. Man, send that nigga down here to me, Ron. I got him. Cause he run the apprenticeship.
You gotta want it, because this kid, when I was locked up, the kid say, Scott, you know, when I get out, I gotta sell drugs, because I don't have no parents, I don't have no family. So, you know, I talked to the kid, and I was like, look, man, we work out every day. He was in shape. He was young, he was in shape. So I was like, man, when you get out, man, why don't you be a trainer or something? He lived in Baltimore. Why don't you sell water on the streets, you know, so you don't get locked up? So, make a long story short, the boy gets out of jail, he starts working for Planet Fitness as a trainer. Now, he's with Under Armour, you know, so you gotta wanna do it. You can use anything.
It comes down to choices.
Right, well, guys, Victor has really been tuning in. We got some people that's really going back and forth with you guys in these comments, but Victor said that in correlation to our ego comment, Vic said that it can be difficult when you go into a 9 to 5. And you know, for guys that were really in the streets, like some of the guys that I knew that were in the streets were making a lot more money than $100,000 a year, or $100,000, count more than $100,000. That was like casino money. So Vic has seen that kind of level, and he's saying that when you go to a 9 to 5 and you're making way less money, and he said the issue is the person that's over top of you telling you what to do. Sometimes we can't get authority that is a little over the top. And coming from a person that has never had to sit under authority, I think that can be pretty difficult.
It's a stress level. I mean,
well, I'll say this to Vic.
It's a stress level.
It's a stress level. I'll say this to Vic because I know what Vic talking about. Because I went from getting that money, I can go make $5,000 in 20 minutes, and I got to work goddamn 2 months to make $5,000. So it's adjustment that you gotta make. It's not an easy adjustment because the fast money is easy. You mean to tell me I gotta do 80 hours, nigga, to get how much? $800? Man, you lost your motherfucking mind. Give me that package. I'm not doing that. So it's a choice. But if your mind is not structured towards that, then it's not gonna happen.
Exactly. So you gotta have a made up mind. So when you say
coming from selling drugs, because you're going from getting 5,000 in 30 minutes, then 5,000 30 days. No, not even 30 days. It might take you 3 months to make 5,000. You know what I mean? He said his son gets $800 every 2 weeks. I mean, it's gonna take you down in 3 months to get $5,000, and you working your ass off. But he ain't gotta worry about going to jail. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference. Or you ain't gotta worry about getting robbed. So it's what you want to do.
So what do you guys think about this? And you guys, I mean, I can't believe it, but we are literally coming towards the end of our show already. An hour passes so fast. So I want to pack this last 7 minutes. Bernard, thank you for that. Bernard is saying that the money in the streets is not even worth it at all anymore anyway.
Oh, no, not right now. Hell no.
It's like, it's no money in the streets anyway. So if you in the streets, you really might as well get a job. You're not making much anyway. And also, what do you guys think about generational wealth? As far as, I see that more Caucasian kids are given money. As in, they walk into businesses. I see a lot of Asian children, they walk into businesses. They have a family wealth going on. With us, how often can we as black people say, look, we're handing the business over to you, or we're starting you off with this house right here? And how different do you think it would be with our young people if we could do that? Do you think they would be better or worse because they were so spoiled?
No, they would be better because it's like it's like white people. They probably got $2 million life insurance. So if they die, they set their kids up. You dead, I get $2 million. Now, whether they do the right thing with it or not. See what I'm saying? We don't set our kids up to be successful. You know what I mean? I'm gonna take $500,000 out of my life. If I die, y'all break it up amongst yourselves. That should be enough for y'all to get whatever business you might have had in your mind started, or just pinch off the money or do what you need to do. But we don't set our people up like that.
So
'Cause we don't
question,
stick together.
have you guys had those conversations with your children? If something happens to me,
Oh yeah.
this is
definitely
what
do.
I want you to do.
Well, I told you I mess with the house, so I'm making sure my kids gonna be alright. You know what I'm saying? But and the grandkids, like you said, it's generation. If I go to my phone now, I can show you my little grandson out there pressure washing with me. I give him his little $40. He's happy. He's 8 years old. You go with me. You're not gonna sit in here and play PlayStation all day.
You know,
You're gonna be out here with me.
what you talk about is, getting our kids prepared, because I talk to my kids all the time. I may not be here tomorrow. I done flipped my car, I've been shot, a whole bunch of stuff that happened to me. I'm not supposed to be here, so I tell my kids, I might not be here tomorrow. So I make sure my kids are good. Because when I go, I wanna go happy, you know what I'm saying? And another thing, you need to get these kids in the church, you know what I'm saying? And just have them read a scripture a day or something, get God in their life. Just like Ron was saying, I don't know if he said it, but like Ron told me before, he's sleeping in the car. You know what I'm saying? Sleeping in his truck. Sleeping in his truck. And, he could have went out and did what he had to do, but he asked God, take care of me.
Wow.
He asked God to take
You
care of
didn't
his
tell
stuff.
us that part of the story.
I ran up. He didn't give me that.
Yeah,
That's my grandson.
He asked God to take care of him, to lead him where he's supposed to go instead of going out here selling somebody drugs, you know what I'm saying? So,
Wow.
it's just things you have to do,
What
man.
I'm
Just
telling
put God
you
first.
is, I slept in my truck right here in the Planet Fitness parking lot, worked out 5 in the morning, went to work, came back, worked out again. Started visit freezing. But I couldn't put that pistol in my hand when it was mine. I could have went and got the package. I just sat there and told the God, and he brought me through. You know what I mean? I didn't go to drinking, I didn't go to drugging, I sat in there. I could went over people's house and stayed. Like I told, I could have stayed with out there, stayed with my mother. I didn't want that, because if I go to that, I'm gonna get comfortable. I want my own shit. So if I stay, keep myself in a go hard mentality, nigga, you coming about this truck and go get your own house. Now I'm in a 95 square foot house. I sit there and talk to him. He figured, I kept saying, damn, how this shit happen? He made it happen. I didn't make it happen. You know what I mean? So I know this shit's real. And I keep trying to tell my son, you gotta change your ways and you will get your blessing. So I give back any way I can. Now they don't know how to anybody come in my house. I ain't tripping. I go get my boys, they right on Marlboro, pipe drinking, I go get them niggas if it's cold. Come on, you coming with me. Shit, it was too cold out here.
Wow, that
You know
is
what I mean? I'm not gonna leave
amazing.
you out here. Y'all coming with me. If I still wake up, the nigga outside on the step, because he's so used to being outside. Hold up, nigga, where this nigga at? He sitting outside, sleep on my front step instead in the house, because they been out there so long, they can't even sleep in the house no more.
Oh
They
my
just been
God.
outside, you know what I'm saying? You just ain't used to being out there. The nigga do some sleeping under a tree. But drinking, I come by, give him a couple of hours every time he see me, we get $2 of that. Hey man, take it. I know you buying big, but it is what it is. He can't, he's so far gone, I ain't gonna bring him back. I done bring him to my house many a time, but he been out there so long, it just ain't no, I take him to work with me, but he going right back under that tree. And that's where they gonna find him, right there on Marlboro Pike under that tree. He done fell out so many times. I mean, it is what it is, you try to help the ones you can help. But, it's hard sometimes. You're not gonna get everybody.
Don't give up on people. That's the main thing. Don't give up on them.
At what point though do we say it's time to give up on somebody? Like, cause I noticed that sometimes no matter how much you do for a person, you're not helping them. Sometimes you're kind of getting in the way.
Well, I do that with my son, my middle son. This nigga's off the chain. And I always say I'm not gonna help him, but he's so much like me. I mean, we bump heads. This little motherfucker is crazy. He's 29 and money. We gets into it. But he always come back to me. But if you was to talk to him, he would never tell you that I ever turned my back on him. And he shot at me. I ain't really want to say that on camera. Everybody like, well, you still fuck with a nigga. That's my son and I love him. That's why. And I understood why he did it, because I embarrassed him in front of his friends. But you're not gonna disrespect me in my house. This is my house, man. You know what I mean? So he pulled his own and shot it, whatever. Ran, jumped in the car, left, came back, apologized, this and that. And we still together today. but I understand where you at. But we so much alike. But he know I never turn my back on none of my kids because I know what it's like to be in the streets and not to have.
And that's why it's so important, you know, what Ron and Lydell is saying tonight. I noticed that we have so many leaders online tonight that are dealing with the youth, and you guys, even for me, being a youth leader,
Right.
it is very important that we remember what it was like before we were changed, before God changed us, and before we had people that stepped in. A lot of times I find that once we're changed, we don't want to be bothered with getting in the trenches. A lot of people get out and don't want to deal with those headaches, because if we tell the truth, it can really be a heavy situation when we're dealing with these young people. You're taking a lot on. It's not, we love to do it, but if we're honest, it can get really heavy at times.
You can, but you gotta love it, though.
But we gotta
It's
love
God's
it,
will.
and we gotta stick in there, and we gotta do it. And most importantly, like you guys said, what stood out more than anything was we need to have understanding. You know, you talking about a man who said his son took a pistol and shot at him. And he said, I'm not turning my back on my son because I understand where he was right here. I have seen so many fathers and sons not speak for over a decade because of the same situation that happened. But it took unconditional love from you. And that's what we have to remember as leaders. Once we are past it, let us always remember what it's like to be there and to understand. But you guys, we're going to have to wrap this up tonight. It is our go time. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. And if you guys have any questions or any young people that you would like to get connected to these men, please do inbox me your information and I will get you guys connected, okay? Have a good night. Thanks for sitting with Let's Talk with Ro. I'll see you guys next Thursday for more of Do You Think You're a Gangster in October.
I see a little time is jumping pretty good there. A lot of waving going on.
All night.